fabulous readers. I am so excited because we are doing another author interview today. We have author Freedom Matthews. She wrote Inherited, and I am so dang excited because when we were talking behind the scenes, we actually did a blog interview together. She gave me just a little bit of information about her story, and the very last thing she said was Jane Austen meets Pirates of the Caribbean, and I am so dang excited, you guys, because we're talking all about pirates today. Freedom, how are you?
I'm good, thank you. How about you?
I'm so excited to have you here. I'm doing well. I'm so excited to have you here because you and I actually hang out in real life. Not that we've met in person, but we talk all the time. We have all sorts of fabulous things going on. And we've got people saying hello. So we're super excited to see each and every one of you here, guys. Thanks so much for joining us. If you have questions, if you have comments for Freedom, go ahead and leave us a little bit of love in the comments below. We will be taking your questions in just a little bit. We're going to talk all about Freedom's book today. In fact, more than one book. I'm really excited about this because we might just weasel a little of exclusive information out of her. We're going to see what happens. It's going to be fun. But if you have questions, we will be taking those in just a little bit, so leave those below. And if you are on our rebroadcast, please leave us comments. We would love to jump back into the comments later on, answer any questions you have. And if you do have a good question that we don't answer on air, I might be able to convince Freedom to come back and hang out with us again. So leave all of your best questions, all of your best comments, and we will definitely be checking those out after the show if we don't get to you while we are live. So Freedom, tell me just a little bit about Inherited. What do we need to know, and why is everybody going to love this book?
As you say, it's Jane Austen meets Pirates of the Caribbean. It's more romance story. It's about, my tagline is, if saying I love you meant death, would you still say it? Because my pirates are cursed. If they say I love you, they die. And things might happen on the ship. Things might turn a little bit more romantic, and there's a high stake to that. So it's the main character is Lenny, and it's just her journey through trying to end this curse. And as a sea witch still. Again, that's not great, but it's what it is.
No, I love that though, because if people hang out with me, and assuming you're here hanging out with me on my channel right now, you guys know I'm big into romance in my stories, and so I kind of love that this is focused on this. And if you say I love you, you're kind of in trouble. This is not a good thing. It's a bad situation if you fall in love. And we've got a pirate ship. And I want to know just a little bit about this. The ship itself is called the Wilted Rose. How did you come up with that name?
Well, I remember hearing about the Black Pearl on Pirates of the Caribbean being a negative and a positive. And again, I always see that as sort of, roses are seen as beautiful and pretty, and yet a wilted rose seems kind of sad. And there's a like a sadness to the wilted rose, so I just thought that would all link up together. And roses are my favorite flower as well, so I had to put them in there somewhere.
I love that. I'm a big fan of roses too. Are you like a red rose, pink rose, yellow rose? What color rose is your favorite if I had to have you answer?
A deep red rose.
Deep red. And I feel like that goes so well with the themes of your book as well, so I'm just going to say. And the cool thing is you actually have a lot of like really florally accents on your cover, which is pretty dang cool. Do you happen to have that with you? You can hold that up?
I do. It's right here.
Yes. Oh, it is behind you. Look at that. So guys, check that out. We've got all of those pretty flowers. We've got the piratey skull there. I love it. And I love the colors of it as well. Super, super pretty. So, Freedom, how long did it take you to write your story? Do you know, like, about?
It took me 7 years to get it published. I'd say it was on and off about 7 years. I was still working on it. A lot changed. I had to change. My editors had me change it from a third person to a first person perspective when I was signed. So I was working on it right up to the end. So 7 years. It was a long time. Dipping in and out, obviously, but yeah. Took me a long time.
Did you always want to write, or is that something that kind of just came up later on in life for you?
I'd say I was 11 when it kind of struck me, but 14 when I said I was serious. So it's been about, 16 years now that I've always wanted to write. But it's, it was a catharsis at the beginning, just trying to get all the emotions out of me. I was writing stream of consciousness poetry. And then when I stopped writing that, I started writing novels because I was an avid reader. So it just happened that way.
That's kind of fantastic. Now, did you always kind of want to get into this particular area within your writing, or is this just an idea that came to you and you had to go with it?
I've always my family are a bunch of storytellers, not written but more vocal. We sit and chat, and they tell me stories from years ago. So folk tales have always been a thing, and this just popped out of nowhere, and it became kind of a folk tale, fairy tale weirdness like that. And everything I seem to write now seems to be based around some sort of folklore and folk, like you would sit around a campfire or go tell your child at bedtime, that type of book.
I kind of
So
love
yeah.
that. And I love that it's a bit more of an epic feel to the things that you are writing. So you've got like this big overarching story, and it's just so fantastical, and it's got so many great, rich characters. And I just love that you kind of incorporated all of that into your writing, which is something we don't necessarily see from a lot of people. So just a little like, love that kind of thing. Toss that out there. Guys, if you are with us live and you have questions or comments for Freedom, go ahead and leave us some love in those comments below. We will happily answer your questions while we are here hanging out. And if you are on our rebroadcast, we would love to hear from you too. Leave us some notes, send us some info, and we will get you some answers. We will hang out with you in the comments, and we might just do a little extra video for you if you get something really, really good. So think hard and come up with lots of fabulous questions. So Freedom, I know you mentioned that you have more than just Inherited. You actually have some other things that you're working on. Can you tell us just a little bit about what you're kind of playing with right now?
I'm working on, again, it's a comparison, but it's a Game of Thrones meets Robin Hood style story. I'm so excited about it. Yeah, it's courtly intrigue, it's shapeshifters, it's feeding the poor by stealing from the rich. It's kind of that whole vibe, and I'm so excited. And I've been diving into everything medieval at the moment, so it's a lot of fun. It's very well, I'd say it's very different from Pirates and Inherited, but it's still very historically fiction based. So lots of fun. And of course, I'm also working on the sequel or the companion novel to Inherited, which is, again, my tagline is same old ship, brand new crew, and it's set in modern day. So it's going to be interesting to write from a modern day perspective.
Well, that's interesting. What made you decide to do that?
I'd written that around maybe 2 or 3 years into Inherited being sort of working on, and I've got like an idea for the original crew. Of course, these guys are inherited the curse, and then we've got the ancestors, I guess, or these guys are the ancestors of my main characters. So
okay,
yeah, again, I'm hopefully working on. I've only got a very little amount to finish on that, so I'm excited to reveal that to everyone eventually.
that is exciting. Now, do you have a title for that one? And can I worm that out of you, or is that a secret?
I want to say it, but I'm not sure I'm allowed to.
Oh, fine. All right.
Maybe next time.
I will make a deal with you. You tell me behind the scenes, and I promise I won't tell anybody much. Cool. We've got awesome people hanging out with us today. Annie Sullivan is here. Hey, Annie. Annie is the author of A Touch of Gold, and she is super awesome for showing up here. Thanks so much, Annie, for joining us. We appreciate you being here. And if you are here hanging out with us live and you have questions for Freedom Matthews all about any of her stories, but specifically her pirate book, go ahead and ask those now. Jane Austen meets Pirates of the Caribbean. Super excited. Freedom, do you find yourself drawn to any one particular character within Inherited? Do you kind of see yourself in any of them, or what's the deal with that?
Not necessarily. I don't see myself in him, but my favorite character in the entire book is Rupert. He is goofy. He's a doofus. He makes me laugh all the time. And I've got older brothers and nephews who aren't much younger than I am, and I used all their humor within that to bring him to life, and he's kind of one of my favorite characters. Lenny, for me, I see a little bit of me in her, but I wish I was her. She's too cool. She's too strong. She's so strong, and so to stand up in front of all those guys, she's great. She's one of the people I admire, and I'd like to be her. I wish I was that cool.
I think we all wish we were that cool, honestly. Annie is hanging out with us, and she says she loves this concept. I heard Cam talking about it. I can't wait to read it. Yeah, we actually had Annie on Young Adults Edition yesterday, and I happened to mention we were doing the interviews, and I told her she needed to show up for this because she's a pirate fan as well. So, awesome. Lots of shout outs here. If you guys have not seen that episode of Young Adults Edition, make sure you check that out. We talked all about retellings, which, hi, one of my favorite topics. Super excited about that, so make sure you check that out as well. Okay, so Freedom, I have to know, what's one, maybe exclusive, haven't really told much of anyone, one fun fact about your new novel that you really haven't told anybody that you can maybe tell us? I know I'm asking for a lot, but I don't think your publisher is watching right now. I don't think anybody important is watching, so we're going to sneak it out.
Oh, gosh, that's a hard question. Oh, gosh. Eek. I think I told you that it's pretty much, yeah, Game of Thrones meets Robin Hood, but the main character of Red has a big, big secret.
Okay, we like big secrets.
And I can't really read it because that's the whole novel. So, yeah, but of course, the title of the first book in this new duology will be Scarlet Redemption. So I don't know if anyone can link the main character's name to something in the title, and that might reveal spoilers eventually when you get to the book.
Okay, so we know a little bit about it. We've got just a little bit of information. And I want to go back to the point where we're kind of comparing this to Game of Thrones, because you and I, like I said before, we're real friends in real life. We talk all the time. We are on Snapchat like nonstop. We love our filtered voices. One of the things we like talking about is Game of Thrones. So we're not going to do any spoilers. We're not going to like give anything away, guys. But we are just going to point out that we're both fans of Game of Thrones and Freedom. I have to ask, who's your favorite Game of Thrones character? Do you have one?
Yeah, it might be. I've got too many. I'm just thinking. It might be Jon Snow, but I love the Hound as well. I love.
Oh yeah, it's fascinating. Like, I feel like it would be so interesting to kind of see more of him and more of his perspective. Like, let's do a spinoff. Let's have Freedom write his book. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I might have to infiltrate someone like him in the next one.
That would be so much fun if you do that. We're totally coming on and having a conversation.
That is kind of, I can say something actually. My main male lead, my love interest for Red, is he's got a scar down his face. Tavish has a scar. He's like charming, but he has a huge scar down his face.
Now we got to find out why he has this scar. Ladies and gentlemen, come back, because we are having Freedom Matthews back. We're going to talk all about that. It's going to be fun, but we have to wait because right now it's a secret. Yeah, we have Alyssa hanging out with us, and she says, Jon Snow, duh, of course. We all love Jon Snow. She's also doing the shocked face, because we are rather shocking individuals, I suppose.
Aren't we all?
Yeah. So, Freedom, tell me a little bit about how you go about writing. I know I try to touch on a little bit of the publishing process while we're here. So how do you do your writing? I know you don't necessarily have a set schedule for writing, but you kind of work when it fits into your schedule. So tell me how you go about your process of creating your stories.
Well, I work on a day job full time, so I have to work myself around that. So sometimes it's in the evening, first thing in the morning, all weekend. I'm really good. I find it really hard to get the first draft done, but once it's done, my work goes into the rewriting and re-editing process, so that takes me the time. So as long as I can get a first draft done, which can take a while because there's only a few hours in the day that I can write, it'll get to it. But yeah, that's pretty much my process. I'll write when I can, and sometimes even in the car, I'm parked, I'll pull over, grab a napkin, whatever.
Yeah.
So
you gotta take those notes when it comes to you, right?
That's because it'll just go. It'll just leave me.
Oh, I do that. I do that all the time. Yep, when I'm driving, when I'm washing my hair, like, come up with the best ideas. If you don't get them down immediately, gone.
And why is it always in inappropriate times, like when you're driving and you can't actually
right? Right? It's always right when you can't do anything about it. Such a pain.
And I always end up, I look almost like a crazy person because I'm sat there saying it over and over again in my head or out loud just so I know I don't forget it.
Yes, seriously. No, I definitely do the repetitive thing to make sure I don't forget it. Oh gosh, it's such a thing. It's such a thing. If you were to give advice to younger writers, what is the one thing that you would tell them?
It's going to be cliche and everyone's going to say the same thing, but write. Get it down, get it out of you. um, you can't have a story until you write it down. So just do it. That was what my biggest thing. Just keep writing until you get a story out of it. And I know that everyone's going to say the same thing, but you don't
But
get a story unless you write it down.
Okay, so I want to change gears just a little bit. I know you've actually had the opportunity to do a couple of different really cool things as an author. You've had some really fun events. So I want to know first what your most fun author event is. And then I've got a follow-up question because I know you have something coming up.
Of course. There's been a couple. I was part of a subscription box, and that was pretty cool to sit and see your books piled up and then having to sign, I think, 400 of them at the time. That was pretty epic. And going to book signings with my publisher and seeing not necessarily fans at the time. Wasn't even published at the time, and just meeting people and talking about your book for the first time. It's just really exciting. So yeah, because I think Inherited has been released now. I think its two anniversary comes up on the 12th. So that's kind of crazy to see that a lot has happened since then.
Wow, I did not realize we were coming up on the anniversary.
Yeah.
Wow, that was awesome. I should have planned this better. Could have had a little present for you.
Is that cool? It's close enough.
Yes. So we're celebrating, guys. Leave Freedom a little bit of love for her second anniversary for Inherited. We're super excited about this. I'm going to have to throw her a little party over on Instagram in 2 days. And if you would like to join me, please do. You can take some amazing Bookstagram photos if you have a copy of her book. If you don't, grab your phone, grab your iPhone, pop a picture on it, and take a Bookstagram photo and help Freedom to celebrate her 2-year anniversary. I'm so excited about this. Now, going back to those events, I know you have something coming up. Tell me a little bit about what that is and then how people can find that.
Of course. Well, I don't know if I can say my publishing company, Of Tomes. We have a table at Yalc this year, which is part of London Film and Comic Con. So we're going to have a table, we're going to have signings, I'm going to have my books there. I'll be wandering around the convention and just saying hi to people. I'll have postcards and a pen to sign if you want me to sign it for you. And check out my social media, my publisher's social media, and if you want tickets, they're over on, if you just type in Yalc 2008 or London Film and Comic Con, it's there.
And guys, if you need the links to these, we actually did a blog interview with Freedom as well. So they are entirely different questions. They're unique, they're quirky, they're awesome. And it's over on my blog, and we have all of her links as well as the link to the event. So if you go to blog.k.m.robinsonbooks.com, you will have direct access to that. It is up right now. We're going to pop the footage from today's interview on that as well as soon as we're done. But you will have access to her really awesome interview plus access to the event. Jessica is here hanging out with us, and she says, love you, Freedom. So we're getting lots of love for Freedom in the comments today. We love hearing from you guys. And if you have questions for Freedom, now is a great time to ask. We will happily get those answered for you as we are wrapping up today's interview. So if you've got something, hit us up. And don't forget, if you're on the rebroadcast, we still want to hear from you. So leave a little comment, love, leave your questions, and we'll get those answered just as soon as we possibly can. And of course, if you are a fan of Pirates and or Freedom Matthews, we want you to hit the share button because that tells Facebook that we are doing something right, we're doing something good, we're giving you quality content, and that they should be showing this to more people. When they show it to more people, that means I can get more fabulous authors here to hang out with me, we can do more fabulous things, and we can convince Freedom Matthews to come live on my channel forever and ever and ever. So, hit the share button, help us out, and make Freedom hang out forever and ever with me, which she already does anyway through Snapchat, but all of you will be invited as well. So come join us and hit that share button and let everybody know that you're having fun with all of the pirates and all of the wonderfulness. We've got a question from Annie, and she says, what is your favorite Jane Austen book?
Oh, good one. I've always loved Sense and Sensibility, but Pride and Prejudice is really pipping me to the post. Okay. They're the cliche, everyone loves them and everyone knows them. But I love Persuasion as well because it's so angsty and so Again, it's like forbidden romance again, which is exactly what Inherited is all about. So maybe that's where it all came from. Forbidden romance.
So that's a sound clip right there. We're going to cut that up. We're going to put that on social media because we just found out why she loves that so much, why it kind of plays into Inherited. Is all I'm saying. Annie in the comments saying, yes, Pride and Prejudice. I am a big fan of Pride and Prejudice. We should maybe just have an episode of a show and get all of us on and talk about Mr. Darcy. Like, how much fun, right?
I'm up for that.
You guys heard it. She's in. So this is actually going to happen. If the rest of you would like to join us, we can have more of you on screen. We'll just talk all about Mr. Darcy. It'll be a great experience. Yes, it will. Actually, Freedom, I have a thing coming up. I've got an author project. I think you're going to want to be a part of it. It's going to be fun. So remind me later. We're going to do this. Somebody else remind us because we're going to get behind the scenes and we're just going to chat away. We won't remember this. But I want one of you fabulous people to remind us that we've got a project we're about to work on. It's going to be lots and lots of fun. So yes, it is. Freedom. Poor Freedom. I drag her into all sorts of things. She loves me anyway.
It's true. Someone's gotta.
Oh, thank you. See, this is what happens. We get into our Snapchat conversations. We just go back and forth with our filters and our voice changers, and we end up like this. This is the deal. This is the way it goes with us. And so when you're friends with authors, you do these interviews, and then you just end up doing it for everybody. So, wow. I love you too. Thank you.
You'd say the same to me. Come on.
Absolutely. I would be harassing you if it were the other way around, so it's all good. We enjoy harassing each other. It's quite fun. Quite fun. Okay. So we are a little bit over our time limit, which is okay because we have lots of fun, which is totally fine. No, we're just going to keep talking. If you guys have questions, we're just going to keep going, but we are kind of at our 20-minute mark, which is awesome, which is what we were aiming for. So if you've got questions, if you've got comments, now is a great time. Freedom, I want you to let everybody know why they should be reading Inherited right now. So one reason that's not something you've already told us, why should they go get a copy right this very second? Be as interesting as you want.
Oh, good God. God, my brain's completely fried. Where are we going? Curses, Forbidden Love already said that. Sea Witches have already said that. Let's have a look. Hot guys. Hot pirate guys. Who are really, really gentlemanly and chivalrous and sweet and not off-putting like Mr. Darcy is. They're not stubborn. Let's put it that way.
I love this. Like the best thing ever. This is what happens when Freedom and I hang out. We just get this, and it's amazing. Hot guys. So this guy, ladies and gentlemen, those of you hanging out with us, you want hot guys in a book. We found it for you. Make sure you check out Inherited. I'm super excited about it. Jessica does want to know before we go, what got you into writing Freedom?
Oh, good question. The need to get what I had inside me, in my brain, in my heart, out. Simple
That's all
as.
She wanted to write about hot guys.
Shh. Someone had to. No one else was, right?
That's
right.
Not
everybody else.
No one else was writing about hot pirate guys. Shush. You had to do it. It was very important.
Hard work.
Yes. She made the sacrifice for us, guys. She sacrificed so much to give us that.
See, Will Turner's on the screen. We have Nathaniel in the book. Come on.
Yes. Okay, all right. Before we go, now that we've opened the door to this, we have to ask. Just tell us about all the hot guys. Just kind of name them and give me one reason they're hot.
Okay, Nathaniel is our main character. He's very, very chivalrous, as I said, very gentlemanly and very sweet. As I said, Rupert is a goof, a doofus. He's you'll either want to slap him or hug him. He's just one of those kind of guys. And there's so many of them, but read the book to find out, and I would like to know what the readers think and who they think might portray them in a film if that ever happens. Let's put it that way.
Okay, if we want a fan cast, guys, I want to hear this too. So send a DM with both of us, and you'll just get more of this insanity. And we'll talk all about the hot guys and who might play them in a movie, because that should happen, right? Right? Can we get a little love? If you want to see an inherited movie, click the share button. Let's make it happen. We've got people in Hollywood, right? I've got friends. Do you have friends, Freedom? Because we can make this happen.
I'll say, of course, but I live in the back end of nowhere in England. Come on, guys.
You know me, and I know people, so we'll make the connections. It'll all be good.
Okay.
Yes.
You can do.
They'll be like, we're going to start the campaign, guys. Start the campaign. All right.
Okay.
Well, thank you guys so much for joining us. We do appreciate this. We're going to wrap this up, and Freedom and I are actually going to go hang out in the back room so that you guys can't hear all of our insanity, and she's going to tell me stuff that she couldn't say on air about her stories, because I'm going to know everything before the end of this conversation. It's going to be lots of fun. And we would love for you guys to continue to hang out with us on social media. So, Freedom, let everybody know where they can find you, your website, and your social.
My main social media is my Instagram, which is Freedom M Writes. My Twitter is Freedom Matthews, and my Facebook is Freedom Writes.
Fantastic. And they can hit you up very, very soon. What are the days for the event?
So it's the 27th, 28th, 29th of July at Yauk.
Perfect. So it's only a few days away. You can get all of the information over on my blog, blog.k.m.robinsonbooks.com, and you can get those 10 questions with Freedom. They are fun, they are quirky, and they are not the same as what we did here, so I would love for you guys to check that out. We're going to put all the footage there. And again, if you've got questions for Freedom, if you've got comments, if you want me to drag her back on the show, let me know. We'll make it happen. We will coerce her into doing all sorts of fun, fabulous things on air. She will come back. We will talk about Mr. Darcy. We will talk about hot guys. And we will talk all about her brand new book when she's allowed to talk about just a little more of it. I'm super excited for it, and I cannot wait. And if you've had fun, do me a favor, hit that share button. I'm K.m. Robinson, author of The Golden Trilogy, The Jaded Duology, The Legends Chronicles, Virtually Sleeping Beauty, and a whole bunch of other books. It's just a really, really long list, guys, really long. And you can hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks.com, where I have world portals to all of my different series, including the ones I didn't say. Behind the scenes, there's videos, there's just all sorts of fun fabulousness behind the scenes over on my website. You can hang out with me at k.m.robinsonbooks on Facebook, Instagram, up my YouTube channel for rebroadcasts just like this one. And you can see trailers, there's interviews, there's Q&A, there's all sorts of great, wonderful things over on my YouTube channel. And check out my IGTV channel. It's brand new. We have a number of shows that are exclusively on IGTV, and I would love for you guys to come check that out as well. Thanks so much for hanging out with us. And if you have an author that you would love to see on our show here, go ahead and leave me a comment. Tag them there so that they know that you want to see them here being interrogated by me in funny hats, because sometimes that happens. And we would love to continue this. Now, we do have other author interviews coming up tomorrow. In fact, we have 2 of them. We're going to be hanging out with Bethany, sorry. Wow, my eyes jumped. With Bethany Avery tomorrow at 2:30 Eastern Time. She is the author of Divine Love. We will be talking to Eliza Tilton at 3:45. She's the author of Broken Forest. And then next week, we also have interviews with Karen Tomlinson and Amber Ardul, and we would love for you to come and join us for those as well. And of course, hit me up on Mondays at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time for Young Adult Edition, where every single week, my co-host Elle Beaumont and I are talking to new authors. We're talking about different book world topics. We're bringing you new releases and book world news, and we're having a ton of fun. We're going to drag Freedom onto one of our episodes. It's going to be awesome. And we would love to have you over at Young Adult Edition as well. Thanks, guys, so much for joining us. We will see you tomorrow for the next set of interviews. Until then, stay inspired. Bye-bye.